So in the last class, we were doing this about list comprehensions. Yeah. So I just asked you to fill in a piece of code, which we were doing in the class, in the last class. Also, I asked you to do flattening of list. So that is one more. So I hope you did that, right? So that's what we need to do. Else, I'll just quickly show you how to do that and then jump to another topic in Python. That is tuple. So this is what we need to play with the list, whatever we did so far. So now, so this is a simple nested list. If you want to do flattening, you can apply. This is actually a freestyle code instead of comprehension. And same thing you can apply with this one as well. Okay, with comprehension. I mean, with comprehensions as well. See, can someone mute your machine, please? Okay. So how do you do this, friends? It's a simple one, right? So what you have to do if you want to flatten this with comprehension, simply you just need to take a, we can simply say some list to equal to, or you can take comprehension here, and what you can do, you can apply for loop for some sub list and list or anything. You can make anything of your choice. Every element in this list is a sub list. So, okay. So this is one thing. So once you do that, what you have to do, again, you should keep iterating it, right? So same thing. What did we do? We iterated it, and then we did a validation. Same thing you have to do. So even here also, you can simplify it. I think we have tested this scenario, I believe, in the last class. So it's okay, fine. We can quickly check on this. So now again, what you have to do? Again, we can check on sublist actually. So again, for some val in sublist, something like this, you can go like this. And then what you can do, we can check. Mm, Same thing here. You can take this. What is this list and you iterate it again. You pass it to the subsequent list and iterate it. So only thing is you need to do a condition check here. Apply a condition check. What is that? If type of value equal to, you need to do a condition check, I believe. Else, so one is you should take this one, and the second one you can continue with subsequent list, and then you can add this something like this. Okay, do one thing. I don't want to waste time. Again, let me check quickly. Flatten list with comprehension. Okay. This is a simple way of flattening. We'll just quickly test it once. Okay, we understand quickly what is this guy is doing. And this is already there for us. We can use it directly, whatever we have here. So we are applying list one actually. We have this is the actual parent list or original list, and that we are applying same sub list. Again, we are using for item in, we are applying this one. What is the sublist if instance of this is something else? Sublist. So each instance is something which is used to check. It's like type function what we are using here. Type of value equal to list. It checks that. And this is the simple thing. Let's run this once. So let's see the output. We can put it as flatter list to and just try this. Right click and run this. We get the same output. We don't have issue. So this is a simple way of doing iteration. Whatever we did here, it is much more simplified here with comprehension. Here you can see here. So what's happening here? This guy is iterating first this one. What is that? Which is our actual list. And on top of that, again, what is he doing is he is validating each item, right? So he is checking the item. You can see here. So he's validating item and what is that he is doing here? If he is checking if it is instance of same thing. So you can see here whatever we are doing the validation, it is much more simplified here. So all this he brought into this comprehension. That's all. So this is how we create comprehensions. Only thing is just keep practicing, friends. That's all. That is enough for us. So what we do is today we will end this topic here. So and then we jump to the next topic. And one more scenario about this is about lists is you take this example. So one important scenario generally which might come to your this thing is we don't need this. You can try this again. Flattening is not a big issue. So what you do is so this is the problem actually. What is the problem? You have a list like this and you have elements. Now you have to sort these elements according to the each list. Applying comprehension is not a big deal once you know the actual core logic. So what you have to do now? So if you want to print according to the type of each value, right? You have to create a list according to the type. The all integer should go to integer list, all float go to float list, and then strings should go to string list, and boolean should go to boolean list, and then list all lists go should go to list itself. If you want to flatten it or do anything that we know, you can give a try, friends. It's not a big problem. Okay. So you give a try on that, not an issue. So what you have to do now? So this is the requirement. And this is something useful for you as well when you are doing some data engineering or data validations. You got it right now. So what do you do right now? So you do one thing. First, you need to iterate this list and then just validate each data. And then according to that, push or append that value to that particular list here. So what do you do right now? So for val in this list one colon, now you have to check if some type of val, you should just do this. Either if it is also, you can also apply is instance method, but already we are familiar with type of, we are using this. And if you think if you want to apply is instance, even you can try that as well. Okay, not a big problem. So if type of val is something int, so what you have to do? If it is int, then you have to don't put this. I don't think you need quotes here because this is a built-in class, right? Yeah. You can just copy this here, append all these elements to this dot append. Okay, and then pass this val to that. Similarly, validate remaining friends. So you can just, if that val is integer, then you should append all integers to the integer list. This is the validation I requested to do on Friday, I believe. So similarly, just do this simple validation for other items as well. If this type of val equal to some float, okay, then you have to append everything to the float list, something like this. And similarly, also you can use elif here. The best thing is use elif. Okay, this is something useful so that you can avoid few this thing validations. If something is integer, then it just checks if that is true. It adds that elements to integer and skips the rest of the constructor. So using elif is also a best thing here. Okay, similarly you can apply elif for few more scenarios. If it is float, it is fine. If it is bool, if type of val equal to bool, what you can do. Okay, just append this to the bool list. Something like this. Now I think by now you know you can just simplify this with this kind of logic. So now again, what you can do, elif, we integer list, float list, okay, and then list. Actually, we have to do check for type of val equal to list, and then add it to the list of lists. This is what you should do. And next one, last. I think this is the last. We don't have anything. We almost try to validate everything. Else, finally, because the remaining is string, you can simply append the remaining values to string list, just like that. So you can just simply say this append of this val itself. You don't need to do validation here. Another validation for string, because if all these conditions are false, then automatically its remaining is string. We try to add remaining values to string list. So that's all. This is the how one scenario we need to validate the data that is present in a list or anything which is coming from any data set or from any database, whatever it is. And this scenario is very useful to you, friends. So this kind of validations sometimes you need to do, and this would be helpful for you, friends. Okay. So finally, what you have to do, just print all values. So just keep print integer list. You can print one by one here. So whichever you think you feel it's good, you just add it. Integer list is just pass that here. Similarly, print remaining as well. Okay. So what you can do is instead of integer list, you can print float list. And instead of float list, you can also print Boolean list. Instead of Boolean list, you can also print list of lists. We now do more prints. So here list of lists. The string list. Now here also just append this with string and append this with string. Just run it now. So this is how you get the data. Of course, we didn't validate for set. One more is missing for set. That you can add it here. Not a problem. What you can do. A small thing here, the set. You can put it as a type of val equal to set. By now, you should understand how to do this validations. It would be a simple thing. Just add one more list here, set list equal to something like this. This is what I have asked to implement in the last session. So set list dot append of val and just bring that here. Okay. You can just add that here and then Just print set list and run this. Okay. So that's all you can see now. This is perfect. You can check the output and you can validate data. And same thing you can rewrite to comprehension as well. Now you know the process, right? So just rewrite it to comprehension, whatever you're doing here. That's all, friends. See, maybe if you think you need some help, check on Stack Overflow or ChatGPT. That gives you some idea, and try to test it and understand what's happening in the comprehension. That should be fine. So this is the idea here. Okay. So I think we try to understand many more things in list. We'll stop here. I'll also suggest one very good website for problems. Okay. So you have W3. There is a website. So for your practice, suppose if you want to practice Python and become good with Python for practicing, this W3 resource is one of the very good website, friends. So if you want to do practicing, so what you can do is go to some Python related exercises. Okay, you can see here. So what you can click on Python. Yeah, see, you can see there are a lot of exercises here. And this definitely is one of the best thing I have seen. So there are so many puzzles. And if you can really solve all these puzzles, suppose you can see here, click on this. You have near to almost some 500 problems here. Okay. So suppose if you want to work on list here, you can see a topic related to the list here itself. Let me show you. See, list topic. Click on list. Now you have so many of scenarios with list. Suppose you can see some items in a list, multiple items, get largest number in a list, get smallest number in a list, count strings with same start and end. See if you can practice all this problem. Even they have solution, but you don't try to initially check the solution, but try to solve this. So this is your first this thing. And second thing, try to solve your problems in hacker rank. That also gives you and ninjas, code ninja and lead code. Or there are so many friends. You can give a try on all that. Okay, just an FYI, this helps you. So if you really want to practice, just use this. This gives you good coding friends. Okay, so that is the idea. Next one after this is what is that we do. So there is one few more things we need to cover. Methods of other methods of list. Actually, let me just show you one more. So generic methods which we can apply on list. So we know already we had discussed these things. These generic methods. What is that? Max method. Second one, min method. Okay, and then doing a kind of aggregations. So these are all built in. And these are applied on different data structures, not just only list. We can apply this on string, we can apply on list or tuple or anything. And then there is a sort method, and then there is sorted is there inside list class. Also, we have a generic sort method, which is applicable on all different data structures. And then we have any, we have all. These are all different methods which we can apply on list. Not only list, we can apply on any data structure. Okay, and of course, length is already there. We know length method. We can apply this as well. So we do one thing. We quickly test this. Okay. So let us quickly check on all this because I believe we didn't test this. So you take an example of a list here, something like list one equal take some values. Okay. So this is the list actually. Just take this is enough for us for testing all these methods. So what do you do right now? So you try to get max. If you want to get max, what is that? Simple, right? Print max of list. Then it's just directly give you max. Okay. And right click run this. Okay, you can see this here. Similarly, what you can do, you want to find min, simply apply min on that. These are all straightforward and simple functions, friends. So min on that and then sum. What is that? List one, sum of list one. Okay, apply sum here. Directly you can apply sum. Right click and run this. So now you can see that it did some. These are all built in. You don't need to write a customized logic here. Of course, if you want, you can develop that, but this is how you can do that. Okay, next, similarly, sort. So how do you apply sort? You don't need, of course, sorry, you don't need to again every time. So just take print and then again you can say, what is it? Sort of list one. Already it's sorted here. If you want just for testing purpose, do one thing. Just put it in unsorted, create an unsorted list here. So now apply. This is actually not sorted. Okay. The built-in one is a sorted, not sorted. Sort is present inside list class. Sorted is a generic method. Sorted of list will sort your list in ascending order, natural sorting order. Excuse me, friends. Natural sorting. Okay, right click and run this now. This is unsorted list. When we apply sorted, you can see list got sorted. Okay, this is sorted. Suppose you want to do sorting in reverse order. I had discussed this scenario as well with you. How to reverse this? Simply we have to apply, what is that, a flag here, reverse something equal to, you should set it to true. Then this, whatever list you have here, it gets sorted in reverse order, not in natural sorting, but you get it in reverse order. Right click and run this now, and you can see you have a reverse list here, like as compared with this one. Okay, so after that, and how about this length? Length is a very simple one, right? So how do you apply length? Print of ln of, you can simply say list one. This gives you length of list, and this is really useful for you when you are doing certain validations. Okay, data analysis. Length is a handy method. Right click and run this. And then any. What is any method? Any is simple, friends. So suppose you apply any of list. Then what is that you get here? You get true. What is it? Uh, any, yeah, you get true in both cases here. You apply any or you apply all. But there is a difference here. All is more or less doing and operation. And any is doing our operation. We'll just understand that with the example. Now right click run this and you can see you got true. Why it is true? When I say any, at least, so if one element is non-zero in the list, non-zero friends. If one element is non-zero, then any returns true. You got it right. So what any does is at least means even if you have presence of one non-zero element, it returns true. So it's more or less doing our operation. One element is non-zero. So what is that you get? You get true. Or even if every element is non-zero, means negative or positive, you get true. Else, if all elements are zero, suppose in this list you take one more just for testing all and any. So this is something useful for interviews or for some certification exams. Not every time we apply this. Okay, so you can see here. Suppose we have one non-zero element and remaining all are zeros here. Okay, and just separate it with comma, comma, comma. This would be enough for us. We don't need too many zeros. Let's stop here. Okay. Now in this case, any returns true because at least one non-zero element should be present. If any should be true, I click and run this now. Now you can see it's true. Suppose same thing you apply for all, it returns false. All of list one. So when you apply all, you can see this returns false. You can see here. Why false? Because here it's doing a kind of AND operation. Every element should be a non-zero if this all operation should be true. You are passing list one to this all, that is fine. But if this should be true, every element in this should be a non-zero. It's more or less just to check presence of zeros and non-zeros in some data structure on a bulk data. Suppose you have a very big list and you want to just check if there is a presence of zeros in a list. Then you just apply all. If it is returning false means there is presence of zeros in that list. That is a quick check, right? So that's how it works. So suppose if you want to do one more case, test case. So let's do one thing. List 2 equal to some, what you can do, friends. Make this all non-zeros. Okay. And then copy this and then paste it here. And now test this. Anyhow, there won't be big difference for any here. If any should be false, every element in the data structure should be zero. Then only it is false. So now run this. This time you can see both. Uh, just only thing is you need to change this, friends. Change this to list two. Okay, list two. Now this works. This you get a different out. You can see true, right? In this case, it is any is true, all is false. In this case, both are true. Suppose you take one more scenario where both are false. What is that? List 3 equal to, what you can do? You can put 0, 0, 0, and then 0. Now you just pass this to the any method and all method and run this now. Now you can see here both are false. Why false? At least one element should be non-zero if any should be true, but here everything is zero. So this is false. And for all, even presence of 1, 0, this returns false. If all should be true, all elements in the list must be non-zeros. But here all are zeros. Even 1, 0 is present in list, then all returns false. Then we have everything as 0, then automatically this returns false. So these are all different use cases associated with any and all, friends. You got it right? So that is the idea. So this is one more important thing we need to quickly test while working with this one, friends. Let me share this with you. Maybe if not here, let me share it in the, that is it. Yeah, as a code snippet. You can test this quickly. Okay, that is one thing. Second thing, you can also try this scenario. So this one more program, you can test it yourself. And also apply rewrite this with comprehension as well. So you can try in multiple ways. When you have some time, spend some time and try to work on it. Okay. So generic methods is done, all this is done. Right? So I think this should cover many of our this list related scenarios, friends. Okay. Now, the next topic, let's jump to the next topic. What is it? So we did this, all this. So this is fine. Okay, this is also fine for us. List slicing, we did. List comprehensions, we did. Okay, merging lists and sorting lists, removing duplicates, we did. Actually, using extend method, all that we did. Even by doing coding, we did. Okay, so all that we did there. Then grades is something which you can take it as assignment. Okay. So this is a simple one, friends, not a big deal. So next, so these are all few problems. I just made it for this thing. But if you can solve everything from this particular W3 resource, I shared you right. This gives you a lot of practice, friends. Definitely trust me. You can master a lot in this coding with this website itself. It has so many scenarios. Try there. Okay. Next, this is all about list plans. Now the next topic we need to jump start is try here. If you have any issues, you can connect with me one on one because this is we have a limited time here in the session and we have to we can so spending more time here on something makes you bored sometimes. So that's why I'm not sticking for more time on something here. But still, if you want some help, you can always connect after the class, friends. Not a problem. Okay. Now, tuple. The next topic goes to the tuple because we did with this one. What is it? We had we had a very detailed discussion about list here. What is list? By now, I think we covered so many things in list. If you really practice well, this is more than enough. And even I shared something really useful website for practice. That's helped you a lot. Now coming to this tuple. What is a tuple here? So tuple is all again. It's like almost same as list. So if you ask me what is a tuple, tuple is also a linear data structure. Okay. So if you ask, quickly discuss what is it. Tuple is a linear data structure. Same as same as what friends? Same as a list. Exactly same. Both are almost same. Only difference is in fact, both are almost identical, but difference is maybe if you come up with the question, if both are same, then what is the difference? Simple, friends.
Immutable.
Sorry, sorry, ma'am. Yeah, exactly, madam. So some of us is answering here. What is this? If in case of list, right? List is mutable. We did a clear discussion on that. We can modify list, but if it is tuple, what is it, friends? Even though both are almost same, tuple is a built-in class like list as well, but difference is tuple is immutable data structure. Same like something like string. So here, immutable in sense, friends, we cannot modify tuple. We cannot modify tuple. It's very interesting, and we this is something used, to hold data. Generally, this gives better performance than list. If you ask me, tuple has a better performance than list. We'll talk about all that. But difference is, if you look at list, list is mutable. You can modify data and you can change data, all that. You can do you have lots of methods available because it is mutable. We have methods to append, methods to insert, methods to sort. There are so many things inside in a methods to reverse. We have so many things inside a list class. But this is immutable. We cannot modify tuple. You don't have those many methods what we have in list. We don't have those many methods like in list, friends. We don't have a append method. We don't have insert. We don't have sort. We don't have reverse. We don't have delete in a tuple method, in a tuple data structure. Tuple class don't have all that. We have few methods like index or something. Very, very few methods. We'll check that. But just giving you a heads up. What is it? It is immutable means we cannot modify this friends. If you cannot modify, applying all that methods like append, insert, reverse, sort, all this is not there inside list this tuple class. Okay, and characteristics wise, it's almost same as list. Duplicates are allowed. We can have duplicates inside a tuple as well. And this is also a linear data structure. When we say something linear, it has indexing. And if it is having indexing, one thing always we can do, remember, whenever something is indexed data structure, we can always apply slicing. And as it is a linear data structure, order is preserved. Okay, but one thing is it is not dynamic. Like list, this is not dynamic. You cannot, it is not automatically growable or automatically shrinkable. List is dynamic. You can keep on adding data, appending data, or inserting data, or we cannot keep on removing or popping data. But tuple is not dynamic. It's not growable and shrinkable because we cannot append data or we cannot remove data. And if you ask me a question, why again? So one of our ma'am also say here, what is that? Told that this is immutable data structure. So we cannot modify tuple. So that's why it's not dynamic. And again, it's heterogeneous, same as list. List is also heterogeneous. Most of the properties are same between list and tuple, except in few properties. This is immutable and not dynamic. Tuple is mutable and dynamic. So let's test all this one by one so that that gives you a very detailed understanding about tuple and list friends. Okay. Now how to create or declare a tuple? Simple. Again, same like the how we did for list. Even we have two ways of creating a tuple. So the first way is using this tuple, something like this, adding values into the tuple. Okay. So just use, instead of square brackets, you can use this parenthesis here, simple parenthesis, and just add values. This is one way of creating tuple friends. Okay. The another way is using built-in method or a conversion method, tuple function here. These are two ways of creating tuple. Okay. Like this or like this. Choose anything of your choice, friends. And this is the example of creating a tuple, simple tuple. You can see here, we don't use square, but you do use a kind of round brackets here, which is parenthesis. Inside this parenthesis, we just pass values, and this is the tuple. This is one style of one way of creating tuple. There is another way. If you want to create empty tuple, you can create like this. Or if you want to convert anything to tuple, then you can also apply this. This is useful in two ways. What is that? Either it is used for creating empty tuple, or it also acts as a conversion function. Means you can convert a list to a tuple, a set to a tuple, a dictionary to a tuple, okay, a string to a tuple. But here this tuple method accepts any iterable object. Inside this, you have to pass any iterable. Iterable means it should be a data structure or a collection. It should not be scalar objects. I cannot just pass one to tuple and ask to convert it to a tuple. Okay, this value should be iterable objects. Else you get error. That we can check it anyhow while doing this whole testing. We can quickly check that. So you got it right, friends. This is a quick idea about introduction to tuple. So what is tuple, right? So difference between tuple and list. Suppose if someone asks this question in interviews, maybe you can expect this. Definitely, this is an area where you expect more number of questions in interviews. Okay, right? Because without this, any interviewer touching this topic, you can't expect interview on Python. So difference we already see that, and then declaration, how you declare them. Two ways we have observed. Let's quickly test one by one. Okay, you can create one more new folder here in this project. Create Python package and then tuple handling. Okay, just name as you like, friends. It should be, it's not like it should be tuple handling or anything. You can name as you like. Okay, make sure you give some meaningful package name and then just keep adding programs. So tuple intro. Okay. So how do we create tuples? So we can create it in two ways. So first way is what? Simply you can use some tuple one equal to use this parenthesis and then just pass values. And tuple is heterogeneous. If you want, you can pass different types of data into a tuple. Okay. It's not like it should be all integers. If you want, you can pass some float values, you can pass some, okay, string values, you can pass some Boolean values, anything. Okay, this is a simple tuple and then just print it, friends. Okay, just print tuple one. Okay, and then run this. You can see here. Right, again, we apply whatever we applied on list, we can apply on tuples except those methods because this is immutable, right? So one important thing is tuple is immutable. These two things you have to keep in mind. And non-dynamic. So this is something we should keep in mind, friends, okay, about tuple. So this is the idea. If you print it, you can see the output. Even this is indexed data structure. You can extract tuple like you can say something like print of some tuple of zeros, tuple of one, tuple of two. This has indexing. This indexing look like this. What is this? Both negative, positive indexing. We have both. Same. Any indexed data structure in Python has this indexing, friends. Positive indexing and negative indexing. So something like 0, 1, 2, and then 3, and then it goes till how many other elements is there? That n minus 1. If it is positive, 0 to n minus 1. If it is negative, minus n to minus 1. Suppose you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 elements, 6, 7, 8. Altogether we have 8. 2 ends with 7. And negative indexing starts with some minus 7 and then minus 6 and then okay, it goes like this minus 5 and this continues till how much, friends? Minus 1. So this is one scenario. So you can just add it here. Okay. So this is about indexing as well. Once you create tuple, you can access elements through index that we know. We had discussed this number of times. And how do you access through index? You just pass it like this tuple of 0 and then all this. Now I think by now you are on track and familiar with many things. This is accessing specific value from a tuple or specific object from a tuple through indexing. So this is all same, like this string, this list, this tuple, all are linear data structures which has indexing. So you can access the elements from these linear data structures through index, like how we are seeing here. I'm just only showing for first three elements. You can try for remaining as well if you want to access each element through index. Okay. Okay, this is the quick idea how to access a specific element from index. Okay, generally it starts with 0. If you want, you can apply negative index as well. It's up to you, friends. So how do you apply negative? That we already know this. So how do you do? Something like -1, -2, okay, -3, something like this. And run this. You can see even we got elements from right to left, applying negative index. So you can play around with both indexes and you have seen that we did this similar thing in lists with slicing. Okay. So this is one approach of declaring tuple and extracting elements from tuple. Okay. So another way, what is the style two of creating tuple? Second way of creating tuple. Okay. So simply we apply tuple method, right? You just take tuple again, tuple 2 equal to some tuple. This is empty tuple. In this case, see, if you create empty, it's quite difficult to add elements or remove elements from a tuple. So if you are applying tuple method, generally we apply it when we do a conversion of any other collection to tuple, any iterable object to tuple. In other cases, we don't apply this tuple function. We cannot directly add, if you create empty list like how we created for list, sorry, empty tuple like how we created list, this won't work because I don't have methods here to add something. Okay, when I say tuple dot, we just have hardly two methods here, index and count. That's all. Count gives you number of occurrences of some element or object. Index returns index of some element. That's all. Only these two methods are available in tuple class. And all other methods which we see in list don't exist inside tuple class. So in such cases, what do we do? So we generally use this as a conversion mechanism. Okay, so how do you do this? If you want to create another way, you can just take another existing data structure, something like this. Here I am passing a static data directly a list to a tuple. But in real time, we try to convert existing list or something like list one. You just pass directly a list one like this. Or some set one, some dictionary one, something like this. Just for discussion's sake, I'm taking a static data or hard-coded data directly here. You can see this. So I'm passing a list here and converting it to a tuple. Okay, friends. So then this gives you a tuple. Now you can print it. Okay, what you can do? So print tuple 2. Right click and run this. Now you can see this is another way of creating tuple. We have one tuple here. Second tuple is this. And this is actually creating a tuple by doing conversion of list to a tuple. Here you are passing square brackets. They got converted in the output to parentheses. See here. Anywhere if you see parentheses, it is a tuple, friends. It is not a list. Now let us try to checking immutability.
Uh, this not different. It is the same way we need to do in list. List we can use in tuple value,
Sorry, can you please come again, sir?
and we can use in a reverse way. We can use in tuple in list.
You can use tuple in list, sir. That's the question. I
Yes, yes.
cannot. Yes, yes, yeah. See, nested data you can have it. Suppose if your question is this, you have a list something, and list can have data like this. Okay, it can have a nested data. Again, in that nested list, you can have a tuple as well inside this. No problem with that. Yeah, you can have it, sir. No problem. It is hetero. When we say something is heterogeneous, means it can have anything inside that. It can have all that primitive data, or it can have all these collections as well. And we can have anything inside that data structure. It's possible, sir.
Thank you.
When it is heterogeneous, yes, definitely you can even tuple can have collection of all different things. You can create it with all different types of data. It's possible. There is nothing harm in that, sir. Is that clear?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, I have one doubt.
Yes, yes, please.
Instead, we have hard coded the inputs 1, 2, 3, 4. Shall we
Correct,
pass
sir.
dynamically that values? Can you give
Yeah,
me the
see, if you want, you can input it from keyboard, sir. That is one thing. Here, one approach is what is that? The dynamic approach is you can do one thing. You can read something from where, sir? Some list one equal to. You can try to read it some input of apply input function. You got it right, sir?
Yes.
So yeah. So yes, if you want dynamic way, you can give it a try with input. You can take it as a list of strings and then apply conversion, split it, and then convert to your list. You know that process, right, sir? So do you want me to show or what? Let me show you if
Yeah.
you want.
Can you please show me the list, one example?
Yeah, sure, sure. See. You can do one thing, sir. So you take this approach, okay? Of course, I need to make some refining here. We'll do that in the second step. So let me now, if you want to go with dynamic, we'll do one thing. Let us make it as a clear. This is discussed, right? Let's take one more test case before we go and check immutability of tuple dynamic approach. What you can do is list two equal to apply input function. Okay, and then what you do, if you want, you can take one more list and then convert it list two. List two. This is actually becomes a string actually. What I'm doing is I'm passing list of strings here. I mean group of integers as a string that I'll split and convert. That's what I'm going to do. So you can just name it not just to take a integer list. Okay. Str string list or string values. Let me put it. And then now I'm converting this string value str dot values. You can also apply join here, sir. It's up to you. Okay. String underscore, sorry, string values dot split. So what you can do, split by comma, because I am passing comma in that. So you can split by comma. And finally, what you can do, you can take a tuple, apply tuple 3 here. There are different ways. I'm just giving you one way. You can try other alternatives later, friends. So list it to now run this and then print it, just print it. So print tuple 3. Okay. And now run this. Right click and run it. So here, definitely it would be waiting for input here. I didn't pass any description, just allowed it like that. Just pass some group of data 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40. You can see here, I am reading the whole data as a string. You can see here, sir. So what you can do, just add group of integers as a string, separate comma separated, and then press enter. Now you can see got converted to tuple here. You got it right, sir. Is this clear, sir?
Yeah, it is clear. Thank you, sir.
This is one approach. But in real time, we don't apply input. I am not seeing the people in here for the time being here. So who is asking this question?
Me, sir.
Brahma.
Brahma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brahma, actually in real time, we don't follow this. This input is just, I just showed you because you just want to know how to pass a dynamic way of
Yeah.
this
Just
thing.
wanted to know that things.
But
How
in
it is
real
working.
time, yeah. But in real time, what is that we do is we create a certain, if you want to have a similar scenario, we use something called what is that config files. Okay. And we pass everything in the configuration files and we read configuration files and then pull that into the this thing. You got it right, Brahman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a standard practice we follow when you are working in development, that even we do this, applying a config scenario. But here, just for time being, I just showed you this. I hope we got some idea. Later on, I'll also show this, how to add values to the config files and avoid hard-coded values in a this thing. Got it, right? In a program file. We'll come to all that one by one, okay? And also one more thing is adding exception handling is something really important when you are playing with data around. Always keeping all your data under try and except blocks is one more important standard we follow when you are working with coding friends. Okay. Of course, here I am not doing that as we are in the very beginning, but doing that is something always is a standard practice. Okay. Fine. This is fine. This is done. Now, let's quickly check immutability and stop this session today. And later on tomorrow we see with more examples. So now, how do you check immutability? Suppose you have this list, right? Tuple, sorry, tuple one or tuple two, anything, friends. So if you can take any of that, okay, suppose you say some tuple one of zero. I am reassigning. We can do this in list. Suppose if it is a list, we can do reassignment in a list. But I am trying this on tuple. So tuple one of zero equal to some 100. This is tuple one. I'm trying to replace one with 100. So the question is it possible or not? The question is possible or not? Answer is this is not possible. If you try to run this, friends. Maybe if you want, you can print it as well. Tuple one. Run this, no? So you should get error somewhere. I missed on few. Tuple one. Okay, fine. Tuple. What happened? Somewhere. Let me see if anything imported now. So now what you can do? Tuple of I'm trying to modify this tuple of zero. We are trying to assign it in that zeroth index. I'm trying to pass 100. Now I'm trying to run this. It should work actually. You should get error, friends. I'm not sure why it's not throwing error. Yeah,
It's
you can
waiting
see
for the
it.
input.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, we missed on that part. Yeah. What is that? We are doing reading a input. Actually, it should get error. We will see that. Yeah, let me pass input. Thanks for reminder. I forgot that we are reading something, but it's okay. What we can do, right? Run this and pass the data. Something 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's enough for this. Okay. Even we can comment that. Not a big issue. Enter. Now you can see here. Type error. Tuple does not support item assignment. Why? Why, sir? Why this is throwing item assignment? Why, friends? Because this is
Because it's immutable.
immutable. This is a clear proof. Suppose you do same for list. Take one example, friends. List equal to apply this for list 1, 2, 3. Just for quick checking purpose, we are doing this. So you do this now. List one of zero. You could do the same for list here, but do one thing. Keep it as a on top of tuple so that we can. So now you see, we tried this for list and then print list one search. Okay. So now you see if it is list, if you try to modify list, some value inside list, this is like updating a list, then this works. We don't have issue with list because this is mutable. But same thing you try on tuple, it won't work. Let's run this and see. Of course, just pass some input here. We are reading something. Now you can see list thing definitely works. When you print list one somewhere, you can see this is a list one. That whatever element in the zeroth index, that one got replaced with 100. You can see that change here. But in case of tuple, it's throwing error. See here, sir. Why this error? Because tuple, that this is a clear proof that tuple is immutable and list is mutable. You cannot modify tuple. At least string you can modify. But here that's not possible with tuple. Okay. At program level, it try to create a new object. All that is happening with the string. But if it is tuple, you can reassign a whole object together. But something, some value you cannot modify inside tuple here. If you change the whole tuple or new as a new object, it is fine. It creates a new object. Same like whatever the immutable three thing we discussed with string, same applies here as well. So this is the idea, friends. Okay. So tomorrow we'll try to understand slicing and comprehensions, all that, and maybe if possible, we'll close this. And for practice, you can try on this, friends. Still, if you have any questions, if you're stuck anywhere, just let me know. We can discuss it after class. Okay, not a big issue. So this is beautiful website and beautiful exercises are there. If you can practice all this, definitely you can expect to be a good improvement in the coding. That's it, friends. So finally, this is about checking immutability. Tomorrow we go with other methods present in tuple and then slicing and then comprehension and then maybe how we can convert this data to tuples, where in real time how we use tuples, what are different scenarios where we can choose tuples, all that. So that's we'll stop here, friends. Okay. Hope this is a good session as well. Right. So we'll stop here. Thank you.